Welcome to TigerComp. This is our look at Publisher 1. Now, Publisher is a program we've used just a little bit. We've made brochures in it. We've made cards in it. And it's a great program for those things. But this unit on Publisher is not about how to use Publisher. Really, all the features that we're going to see here are things you've learned in Word and in PowerPoint and other tutorials that we have gone through already. And so it's not so much about how to use a program, though you will see some unique features that come out in this program through these tutorials. But instead, this unit is all about the principles of design. We're just going to use Publisher to do this unit so that we can, one, be using something a little different, two, there's some really nice features in Publisher that help with the principles of design. Now, before we really get into the design principles, even though you've been taught about them for the past few years, what we want to do is we really want to get this introduction to Publisher so that we understand how this program works, and that's what Publisher 1 is all about. And so as you open up Microsoft Publisher on your computer, you're going to be given the option of lots of different types of paper sizes. All right, so understanding that we're going to use a blank 8.5 times 11 sheet of paper. That's your common sheet of paper. And then you're going to get to a screen like what you're seeing right here. And right away you're going to see the rulers on the left and the right, top and the left, that are going to help you with alignment, which is going to be one of our principles of design. And so it's going to be very important that you do that. All right. Just like in page layout in Word, you can go here and I can change the margins. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, make some custom margins, and just shrink all these down to 0.4. And so change those margins. You can see how, if you were noticing carefully, this blue line shows you where your margins are. And so that's not a text box or anything like that. And so we're going to go ahead and jump right into this, and we're on page 2 of the tutorial already as we start to use this program. And it says type the word Publisher in Word Art and change the size to 2 inches by 6 inches. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause the video and do that myself. All right, so hopefully you have excuse me, something that looks like this on your page now. If you don't know how to change the size, you go to Format over here, and you have your Word Art. Probably want to Insert to get to that Word Art. Now, Publisher shows you kind of where stuff is in line with your ruler. Now you can kind of see this white line going back and forth as I drag my box around. But if you look real close, right, and you might have trouble seeing this in the video, but there's a white line right here. And if you're following along doing this on your screen, you're going to see a white line. And that represents, right underneath your ruler, that represents where your text box is. So if I move my Word Art box, you can see that white line works. And that's going to really help you when it comes to using Publisher. All right. Another tool that we want to learn how to use is what's known as baselines. And so we're going to go to the View tab. Right. And as we go to the View tab, you have what are called baselines right here. And we can go ahead and click that. Now this puts, as you can clearly see, all these different lines in the background so that there's a very easy way to start lining things up, especially horizontally. You can see that type of alignment by using that view, and that's going to be a really nice thing to do. All right, that's going to be helpful for future tutorials, so just throw that in the back, in your back pocket for now. All right, and you can leave it on or you can turn it off for the rest of the tutorial for what part we're working on right now. Now what we want to do next is we're going to do a little bit with the background. In Word, everything is kind of just one color, but if I want to change the background of this, I can go to Page Design, and as I go up to Page Design, I can go to Background, and now I have all these different colors that I can choose from, and lots of different things like that. All right. for our background, let's go to more backgrounds. We're going to get the full menu now. All right. And directions say 2 colors. All right. So we can do a kind of gradient type fill. All right. And as we deal with our different colors, we can see here's our gradients. We got all the different stops for different things, and we can change how all this stuff works. All right. Now on the screen that you're looking at, you see the 2013 version of Publisher. The 2010 version on your computers looks a little different. You're going to see things like 1 color, 2 color. If you have the tutorial in front of you, you're going to be able to see all these options, and so you can change the colors. But this is actually a lot more similar to how the colors work in the present idea, right? And you can go ahead and you can change your colors. You can go to more colors or tints, and you can find things. And what we want to do is we kind of want to match the green that we have in our lettering, so this green here, to our background. All right, and so I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to try and find that green as best I can. And so here's that green, and I can adjust it. I'm going to say that's okay for now. All right, I can even go here, right, and look at different things. So there's different ways to look at the colors, the Pantone one, all right, to find these different colors. And now we're going to have a matching color that we want, or very similar color in that sense. All right, and we're going to have a gradient fill. We're going to go white on top, green on bottom, just like that. And you're going to have something similar to this on your screen then. All right. Let's add a little bit more text to our project here. All right. Next thing we want to do is we want to, in Publisher, you can't just add text, you have to insert text boxes. And so if it's called draw a text box, you can also do this from your home screen. All right, so if I draw a text box and got my text box drawn, and I want to insert the following bullets, and I'm going to type them up. You don't have to watch me type. Type them up, and then you can do the same thing on your page. Go to the bottom of page 2 to get the words. All right, so what we want to do now is we should have these bullets in here just like that. And what we want to do is we want to try and line up our bullets with the left side of our capital letter here so that things are aligned, right? So if I click on this box and I start dragging things over and I want to line things up, right? I'm going to actually take these lines off because they're becoming a little bit distracting to me, right? And as I do this, you can start to see, sometimes you can see kind of how lines start appearing on the right side or left side, right? There's that pink line appears, real nice. And those lines are meant to show you that things are in line. And it's really kind of a unique way that this program works. However, if we were to zoom in, right, real close to what's going on, we would notice that even though that pink line appeared, what it showed was that this right here is lining up with the edge of our text box. Our bullets are technically not lined up with the letter, the capital letter P in Publisher. And a lot of people would say, who cares, right? But this is where the principles of design really come in, and they would say that that is not correct. And by having that just slightly off alignment, you have something that just isn't as good as something that is perfectly in line. And so we want to learn how to put things in line in a much, much better way. And this is really one of the cool parts about Publisher, something that Word doesn't offer. So if we go to page design, we have something what are known as guides. All right. And we can insert these guides to help us to see how things are aligned. All right. And so if I go down here and I want to add a vertical line, so here's that green line, just added it. And now I'm able to shift it and move it over anywhere on the page that I want. And so I'm able to do that. And so that green line is there. Now this is not a permanent line, it's just a guideline. If I were to press print, that green line would not appear there. But once I put it in the place that I want it to be, now I can take my objects, having zoomed in, and I can line them up perfectly now using those guidelines. I can add guidelines going this way, right? You can also notice that you can add horizontal guidelines, right? So here's a horizontal line, and you can put them and move them, adjust them in any way that you want. All right. The other thing that you can do is you can go to what's called the ruler guides. And so this, right, you have a horizontal, you have your vertical, you can really put exactly where you want them. So if I wanted it at the exact 2-inch mark, I click set, right, add another one, I can delete this one. And so now my line's going to be right there at that 2-inch mark. And here it is, right, 2 inches right on that mark. And it allows me to line things up really nice. All right, same with the horizontal, sorry, the vertical. I can go there, go to ruler guides, and I can now click vertical, and I can say, all right, I want this to be lined up at 1.219. All right, click set, get rid of that one, click OK, right? And now I can shift everything over so that it's right where it needs, oops, right where it needs to be, okay? And things are lined up just the way that it needs to be done. All right. Okay, that's enough talking on my part. All right, that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you about guides. I wanted to show you about baselines. I wanted to show you about inserting different things, kind of review of changing colors and different things like that. All right, and zooming in to see that alignment. Now, your assignment is to, looking into the tutorial, it's the fourth page has your directions, right? You're going to see a picture of Publisher, and then you're going to have some horizontal guidelines you're going to put in there, and you're going to line things up specifically like it tells you to in the tutorial at the different measurements. All right. All right. So to finish up this lesson, you need to use the guides to help you to create something that looks really exactly like this. All right. So all the measurements are right here. All the directions are right here. This is the last page of the tutorial. And of course, it's going to say your name instead of Mr. Becker. All right. Save it as Publisher 1, and you can hand that in to me. It'll be a place to upload it, right, on Office 365. All right, that is Publisher 1.